Gen Z will illegally fix the housing crisis. Vaush, do you think this would work? I'm gonna guess no. The only thing Gen Z has in its future is suffering. So they're not gonna fix anything, but
more than 75% of homes
is these solutions are illegal in most of America.
Up in our local market.
Housing crisis.
The housing crisis.
Gen Z is going to fix the housing crisis. The bad news is these solutions are illegal in most of America. They're going to need collaboration, communication, and specialized tools to coordinate the solutions. We're making everything more expensive while we're in bet. It was the largest generational wealth transfer Saturday. Office towers?
This is too edited for me. My second monitor brain can't handle the editing.
Energy crisis on top. Here's the new wrinkle. Most young single families today can't afford to rent a home that big. So what is private equity going to do? Private equity is going to chop those houses up and rent them out as subunits, like mini apartment complexes. Gen Z and young millennials, if you do nothing, your two options for the future are as follows. Option 1, a converted office tower stack in a dying downtown, $2,400 a month, 480 square feet, crushed by utility bills. Option 2,
You seem to be struggling with attention, too much phone. Yeah, I know you're doing a bit right now, but you have to remember that the limiting factor is almost always not my attention, because I have a second monitor that I can use to open up Twitter and look at furry porn. The limiting factor is your attention span. If I sat quietly and watched a multi-minute video without much interesting to say, I can watch my viewers drop in real time. The electric nodes that I have attached to my genitals start firing off like 20-volt shocks to remind me that it's time to pick up the entertainment. So again, like, I'm not the factor here.
Chopped up boomer McMansion in a dying suburb, $1,800 a month, used to be a bonus room. Or Gen Z and young millennials can do something completely different. So here's the solution. This is something I've been working on myself for over 10 years. It starts with ownership of the land you're on.
Nope. Already no. Already so no. No. No.
I didn't pay $40,000 down for this. For my 0.6 acre piece of land with my 500 square foot little home on it, I paid $1,500 down. I pay $500 a month in a community with other people doing the same thing. Community's critical. You need to be.
Okay, this is just homesteading. This is just like build a commune homestead. No, this is not. Also, everything's AI. Like, if you want to live in a super cheap area, there's like tons of places in America that are super cheap. This is not like what, buy land. The solution is land ownership? No, that doesn't fix anything. No.
Around other like minds. And my 500 square foot cabin is next door to my buddy's tiny house, which is also next door to our friend's container home. The housing.
This is actually like more dystopian than the version of the world that he's suggesting. For one, there are no jobs out here. So like, what are you doing? For two, why trailer homes? Why tiny homes? It's weird because it's actually like more cucked than the original homesteading. Because it used to be that when people went out there and bought land out in the middle of nowhere and built a house, they would try to build an actual house. But for some reason, when millennials or whatever envision this life, they're like, well, I'll live in a tiny box on the land. Like, why not build a house? Also, how is this illegal? You're just buying land. You could live in a tiny box in a city? Yeah, I just don't understand how this solves anything at all. It's illegal to build without a permit, but you can get a permit to build on the land that you own. Like, pretty easy. Like, that's not a limiting factor.
Options go on and on and on because we have the freedom to build what works for us.
Like, this is just slot. Like, what
options
oh,
go
yeah.
on
We live in a tiny home, but you're going to build this picturesque alpine A-frame house with a giant stone well and jacuzzi on the front. Probably AI. It's all AI. This whole video is AI.
on because we have the
You'll live in the tiny Scandinavian polyhedron.
freedom to build what
You'll live in this like Airbnb that probably costs $450 a day to live in.
works for us in this county, in this state. In most American cities and counties, the law requires that you build bigger homes than you actually need, more expensive homes than you actually need. That doesn't seem right. So
This is not true. Like, it's true to an extent, but it's not illegal to build small homes when you own the land. It's just that generally these developers take advantage of the zoning plots they're given and build out big because they can sell it for more. It's not illegal to like buy your land and put a small house on there.
the question is why? 3 reasons, and none of them are about you. So there's reason 1. Property taxes scale with house value. Your local government is addicted to that tax revenue.
Like, who linked this to me? Problem number 1, property taxes. Here's an AI graph of how the government leeches property taxes off you. Was this made by a Floridian?
Revenue. They don't want you building small homes because it means they get a much, much smaller little tax bill every year.
Objectively wrong. Smaller, denser housing in city cores produces vastly more property taxes than large suburban single-family homes. This is the opposite of correct. Cities aren't motivated by revenue generation because the people who run cities don't profit off of the money they make from property taxes. It's not a company. Like, your mayor doesn't make more money in his yearly salary because he got more property taxes. Trust me, if he did, we'd have a better system. I wish we had that level of corruption. Maybe then we'd have more of a downtown area, you know?
Reason number 2, builders make much bigger profits on selling you a bigger home.
Yes.
The construction industry and the builders lobbied for over 50 years to make sure zoning requirements ensured homes stayed big. And now reason 3.
It's not really zoning requirements. It's more like a natural consequence of the land partitioning in single-family zoning areas. But it's not illegal to build a small house if you're buying your own property. Like, you can... Like, if you're buying your own property out in the middle of nowhere, the odds are that you're not even in an area that these zoning laws would apply to.
NIMBYs, not in my backyard. Boomers in their big boomer houses, they don't want your tiny home community going in next door because supposedly that's going to lower their property values. Doesn't really matter because Gen Z and millennials can't afford the boomers' homes anyway. Many, many different forms of affordable housing in American history were illegal at some point in time.
This is true, and they still are. I guess, like, my problem here is that the solution just doesn't work. Like, homesteading and buying a tiny home to slap down in your land doesn't fix this problem at scale, or even for you in particular, you know?
The bungalow, the duplex, the cottage court, the accessory dwelling unit, the tiny house on wheels, so many...
What about the apartment? Again, like, we're missing the forest for the trees again. Why all these single-family or, like, single-family-esque properties? Why not the apartment building, you know?
Were illegal at some point in time. The bungalow,
not an apartment.
The duplex,
not an apartment.
The cottage court,
not apartment.
The accessory dwelling,
not apartment.
Unit, the tiny house on wheels,
not an apartment.
So many affordable systems and solutions for living were not legal at some point in time until enough people started building them, demanding that they be legalized, and using them day to day.
Not really. That's not really how that works, no. After the Industrial Revolution, tenements and, like, barracks housing became relatively common, and they've scaled down in use in America in large part because of the advent of, like, suburbanite Hitlerism and large single-family home development. It's not as though these things are resurging right now. It's kind of the opposite. We do need apartments.
To where the law had to be changed. So we need 2 things at the same time here. Vote out the people protecting boomers' property values at the expense of Generation Z's future. 2, we build more. We build where it's already legal to build the type of thing that we're envisioning.
The idea that, like, we can build our way out of this crisis and the way to build is, like, tiny homes in the middle of nowhere is genuinely insane. Also, AI. This is not born out of any, like, real... Also, yeah, what is, like, a FEMA tent?
Find the rural areas, find the counties, find the locations where they don't have zoning. They're out there, they do exist. Knowing where to...
Oh, and he's selling you something.
Build these type of creative communities that are on-grid, off-grid hybrids. That takes time and skill. Knowing how to assemble all the components for these small dwellings that are affordable in a community that's nature-based. That takes more time.
Nature-based?
And skill and money. Knowing who to build these systems with. This sounds like a complex process. That's why we've built Altoro to make it really simple. 3D planning tools, systems libraries, tools to meet other people.
Is it a fucking video game? Dwellings, cabin, 18,500. What? Energy, solar panel, 290. Is this a game?
3D planning tools, systems libraries,
Is it on the
tools to
blockchain?
meet other people, tools to build out communities so that you know who else is working on.
Personnel. Oh, man.
this, and can I work with them? Are they near me? Rich and descriptive maps that show you where you could build off-grid today, where you could build an on-grid, off-grid community hybrid. Where can you do this now? All of that information is wrapped up into the Altoro ecosystem. We've been building it over the course of hundreds of hours.
Fascinating stuff. Really fascinating stuff. $2,000 glass A-frame for off-grid living? Nah. Yeesh. How does this channel have 500,000 views when not a single... Oh, here's the video. 2 years ago, we went off-grid in 30 days for 25,000. I see. So it's an off-grid channel that struck it big with a video, got a bunch of subs, and since then has been... Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, this won't work. Sorry. Civilization isn't going to be saved by, like, off-grid living. I genuinely don't understand your opposition. Mr. DNA, can I be real with you? You've baited me too many times. I don't take your comments seriously anymore. I'm gonna cut straight to the throat with this one. I think you're baiting. I think you understand what's wrong with this. I genuinely don't understand your opposition. Mr. DNA, can I be real with you? You've baited me too many times. I don't take your comments seriously anymore. I'm gonna cut straight to the throat with this one. I think you're baiting. I think you understand what's wrong with this. What's wrong with off-grid living? For one, it almost never works, and you can discover that for yourself as you look at testimonials from people who have tried it. But by and large, the problem with housing right now is a civilizational problem. It's a problem that affects literally billions of people. You are not going to fix this by engaging in literally the least efficient form of housing physically possible. Like, we're dealing with an efficiency crisis. This is dollar per dollar, square foot per square foot, the most like, it is the least efficient possible way to allocate human beings across a finite amount of land. It is not how we solve things. In fact, the desire to escape society and do this in the first place created the problem. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but the suburbanite, white picket fence, American dream single-family home is the commercialization of this idea, to escape the city and live off the grid, unbothered by other people. A fundamentally reactionary Hitlerite impulse. You should live in a packed little sardine can. You should smell your neighbors as soon as you wake up. This is the future we fight for. You will live in a 200-square-foot Kowloon walled city apartment, and if you complain about it, the Stasi will come and visit your place. This is what we fight for. Can I at least soundproof my walls? No. Come on, dude, not even you want that. Don't bite for the hyperbole. Listen, this is just millennial slop versions of the American dream suburbanite Hitlerite white flight bullshit, okay? Don't fall for it. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to get away from the city, away from all those all those stinky people, all those thugs? Oh, wouldn't it be great to, like, go out there off the grid? Oh yeah, I don't need a job. I'm like, I have inherited wealth. Oh, I'm actually willing to dedicate like 8 hours a day to managing all of the legal and technical challenges of living off-grid. That to me is easier than just, like, you know, living in a city. Aren't a lot of suburban cities headed for huge deficits? Yeah. It's like incredibly ruinous to provide resources to those people. A city used to be tiny, you know? Like, cities historically have been very small. Old London, Old Paris, the Roman forts, Old Rome, these cities were like really small. You could walk from one end of them to the other in no time. It's only really the advent of the car that's allowed them to expand the way they have. Cities should be very, very, very dense. It's bunker apocalypse slopsism for the middle class. Yeah, I don't like meaningfully the people who are obsessed with this occupy the same social space as people who want to like build a bunker in the middle of northern Idaho and await the end times, you know? You can't escape society. Society will come for you. In fact, when things really go to shit, you people are going to be the first ones out because you're much more vulnerable than you think you are. You don't have a complex, like, you know, interlocking system of dependencies protecting you. You're just out there with your own shit. Humans built civilization by cooperating, not competing. Or to put it another way, when civilization collapses, I'm scraping data off of this website and I'm finding the off-grid addresses of everybody who used it, and you're the first place I'm going for extra food, water, and ammunition, okay? As far as I'm concerned, you people are like Fortnite, you're like glowing gold chests in the middle of the goddamn woods. And everyone in the city is going to agree with me. IRL loot boxes, yeah. cracking that shit open like an egg. Yeah, you can't stop a small militia of 100 dudes at the bunker. Yeah, but there's more than 100 dudes in, like, Seattle. I don't know, man. People who live out off-grid are insane. They're, like, genuinely delusional. It reminds me of those Cascadia freaks who think that, like, the Hitlerites in western Idaho and eastern Washington are going to take over all of Washington and Oregon, unaware of the fact that 90% of the population of the state of Washington is kept up in the hyper-woke centers of Tacoma and Seattle. Like, they think the few thousand they have out in the wilderness somehow overwhelm the few million in the city. It's crazy.